Hello, Dr. Nasira ma'am, you are not audible ma'am. Yeah, I think madam is disconnected. Friends, yeah, madam with us.
Some network issue.
Hello, Nasira ma'am. Ma'am, you are muted ma'am. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, ma'am. Now it is okay ma'am. Please
Now.
continue.
Okay. So this introduction, let us skip, which we have already seen. Yeah. And let me come back to this. I was just speaking about this chat GPT. Chat GPT is one forum. Now it is all the softwares and the applications are embedded with AI. Even if you simply open a Microsoft PowerPoint, which I'm doing it now, this is also AI embedded. AI embedded means what is the difference? Like we could feel is like uh, it could send something, the activities, and it is doing of its own. If it is doing of its own. Maybe before I give a command, it understands by learning what I've done earlier with this particular app, and it is actually helping me in working with that app. That is what AI embedded is. And many things are you are getting, see, you are not getting I mean data from only from one particular source, you are getting it from different sources. So this different sources of data is also supported by the artificial intelligence. So this chat GPT is one. Let me come to one by one. One by one. Maybe these are the few things like empowering students. This is one way of making the student learn into through digital era. This is what is happening in the 21st century. And these are the various technologies available. Any subject, we are depending on the technology. So that reaches the student. That is what ultimately I've also experienced. So it is ease of accessing information, meaningful assessment of achievements of student learning outcomes, helps to boost learning interest among students, and it stimulates the creativity and self-expression, personalization and updated information we get. This is very important thing, personalization and updated information. Okay. And we get collaborative learning environment, of course, through ICT. And ICT is almost in all the fields, all the fields. So a barcode is generated, a scanning. Of course, we are using all our GPay. So we know, and that is also again ICT now. That is also ICT. So ICT in education only we are seeing, but ICT is available in almost all the sectors. It is available in all the sectors. Inventory, in vehicle tracking, of course, our Google Map is supporting us a lot. And sometimes it fails. Sometimes it fails, taking us with some shortcuts and short routes. It is giving us some kind of trouble. So that is also there. Huh? And the benefits of ICT, effective policies, personalized learning, collaboration learning, and all these are okay. And in ICT, when we come to the field of education, e-learning, e-learning is electronic learning. For electronic learning, what are we supposed to, how do we make it electronic learning? Once we have to make a content. Once we make the content, we publish it in a YouTube, or we publish it in a Google, or we publish it in our MOOC, So this content reach the student or reach the student community throughout or globally. So this making of content is very, very important as a teaching faculty, that too in a collegiate level. So first, let me start making a content only by scanning my textbook. I scan the important pages of my textbook. I make a PDF. I give a name to the relevant name to the PDF, and I'm publishing it in the WhatsApp group. That is my first level of making a content. Okay, that is only what I've done is I've just only taken the photograph, the picture of my notes, and I have prepared a written notes, whatever it is. This is one kind. This is how we started. But still that black and white may go a little boring for the student. So now we go for multimedia kind of material, text content. So those multimedia text content involves videos, animation, presentations. It helps visualize the complex concepts and enhance the understanding. This is very important thing. That is what we work for. Very effective understanding and enhance understanding. Visualizing the complex concepts, making it very simple. And I think most of our children, or we have trained even our own children to learn a physics or to learn a chemistry or a zoology experiment. There are a lot of learning tools are available for a class 11 or a class 12. Byju's is there. And can you name something else? Because yeah, there are many lot of tools are available. I mean, softwares are available where the lab experiment they are learning it. They are learning it through that multimedia tool very easily, and that is actually staying in the memory for a long time. Okay, so we go for multimedia, and we have challenges also. In fact, the challenges, the one of the very important challenge always we have is this internet connectivity. This internet connectivity is a very important challenge which we have. We should have a, in fact, we will have a high internet connectivity. We cannot expect the student to spend in the sense, spend his data for this education. I mean, because he may using it for his other purposes. So this becomes challenging. In that, we will have to make the content in a simple way so that he is not losing his MB or KB. Maybe he recharges for a small amount because he is not an earning person. He is depending on the parent. So I make a small content which reaches him very easily in an attractive way. Okay. And example of successful implementation of the ICT in teaching and learning is OLPC, that is one laptop per child, was successfully provided. Affordable laptops to students was given throughout the countries to enhance their learning opportunities. This is for the student. And for us, it is MOOCs, massive open online courses which have made quality education accessible to a large number of learners worldwide, breaking down barriers of time and location. Wherever the student is not able to attend the class on the particular day, when he is missing a particular topic on on a subject. This MOOC, my content is available in the MOOC. I have developed a content and I have uploaded in the MOOC. So what he can, irrespective of the time and the place, wherever he is, he can just go through the content. And another way is flipped classroom, where students learn content at home through online resources and engage themselves in discussion and activities in the classroom, which have shown positive outcome in the student. And these are the various things which we have. So what are the tools which are actually supporting for this ICTs? One is AI, artificial intelligence. Another one is virtual reality, augmented reality, and IoT, Internet of Things. Anything, even if my board is connected with an internet, I call it as an IoT. If my chair which I am sitting, if it is connected with the internet, I call that as an anything which is connected with an internet, we call it as an IoT. So there are many devices which are connected into that. And what are the ethical and legal issues? As far as I think education is concerned, I don't think we have a lot of ethical or legal issues. But still, even there, I think when we make a student to attend a MOOC class, what we do is we register SYM. We make the student register in the SWAYAM portal. Through that SWAYAM portal, there are a lot of content available in different subjects, not only in computers, all subjects are available. So this portal text actually, it is prepared by a lot of eminent, highly educated IIT professors. So this content actually, I am just, through my login or my institution login, I'm asking my student to log in and go through it and learn on it. So we don't have ethical. So once when I take that content of an IIT professor and when I say that it was made by me, then it will be a problem. So that ethical and legal issues we may not have, we may not having it more when we come into teaching. Okay, so this is about ICT. Now let's go to, I was telling about AI and other things and from ChatGPT. Shall I start from ChatGPT? I've kept it open. I think many must have used this ChatGPT. It's not something new I'm telling, but how do we use it? That is what we are telling. How many of you? I don't. Many must have used this ChatGPT. If I am right, ChatGPT. Honestly speaking, now many are using it for purpose like taking notes, even sometimes for referring some questions on a particular topic. All that we are actually using it. So this chat GPT, so I think my chat GPT screen is shared now. We can log in it. Earlier it was free login. Now I have just made a sign up with my Gmail. This is my Gmail account, my arrow, my mouse click. And here suppose if I ask how to or tell about Shakespeare. I think I'm spelling it wrong. So William Shakespeare, I get a para about William Shakespeare. So once I take a class, I teach about Shakespeare. After that, I can tell my student to go and know more about. So within few seconds, I've got a one-page content of Shakespeare, the history. So this is one kind of digital digital way of teaching into education. Now suppose if I ask my student to write a leave letter, the format has come very easily. Normally we take class for teaching this, maybe 45 minutes we will have to teach. See, it starts from two, the subject, the content, thank you, sincerely, all this. So this is how this chat GPT is helping. And this is actually a free version. It's an open source where you can get some uh, any particular information. I think I have already tried for something, maybe yeah, I have tried something on multimedia objects. I just wanted to have an MCQ on it. MCQ on it. So this I have already tried. I have a history also there. So this is chat GPT where I try for the text version. And ChatGPT does for um, video and pictures also. So the upgrade version, a paid version helps in getting some pictures through ChatGPT. I'll come to that also. So ChatGPT is one which helps us. The similar kind of ChatGPT, I have it in Gemini, I think. I think I've kept that open. This is of Google. The same when I ask about, like, suppose if I ask about football, the way it gives me the content is only different. Of course, this is of Google, Gemini. Gemini is also one good. See, we have got an introduction about football, the key aspects, and the various competitions which are conducted for the football game, rules and regulation, a nice picture about it. A nice picture about it. This is really good. A nice picture about it. So that there's the difference. So this I can share it. I can recheck it with my search engine. Okay. I can modify the response, and all these are my bad and good, my feedback. And I can copy it and all that. Suppose our content is come, we can report as a legal issue. So this is one which is really now it is popping up very helpful for the teaching community. This Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. So I have an option of upgrade also, which may give me some advanced version. Okay. This is one. This is the second one. Okay. This is for making content. We can go for any of these options, right? Okay. There is one which is quite very interesting. Actually, I have also tried. I liked it. I'm just pasting the link in the chat box. A quiz generator, which is really very interesting. Really very interesting and making us also interest, and the students are also getting involved in that. This is a free AI powered quiz generator which helps in creating quiz based on the text what we give or based on the topic whatever we choose. Here the quiz can be as multiple choice question, true or false, open questions, and anything. Okay. So now let me make a quiz. So here I think the screen is sharing, no? A free AI powered quiz generator screen. Is it sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So here, let me make, what shall we do? Shall we go for multiple choice or true or false or open question? You can just give me a topic. We'll go for multiple choice. With 5 options, we'll go for 4 options. See, the content given there, we have got a multiple choice. Let's give a content over here. Shall we tell about what shall be the content? We'll give about Independence Day. Independence Day, multiple choice, quiz me. Oh my God. I think we will have to answer for it now. Wave propagation. Okay. Somebody has given wave propagation. Thank you. Oh, there is some limits. You have reached the limit of questions generation. You can sign up and get 7 more questions for free. Okay, let me go for true or false. Oh, there also I have reached the limit. Open question. There also I have reached the limit. Oh, so these people have now started asking for. We had the earlier one. Let's see. What was the question? Never lose. Let me take a quiz, or let me share this quiz with anyone you want. Unlimited question. Oh, he's asking for the plants. Okay, so this is. I think you can try for this, but don't go for a paid version. But here it is telling you have reached the limit of question generation. You can sign up and get 7 more generations for free. Okay, okay. Let me do the sign up. Okay, I think now I can do it. Wave propagation. So that sign up, I just gave it with my Google account. So now my options are coming up. It has got limited free availabilities. What are the fundamental difference between longitudinal and transversive waves? Sure, sir. We'll go for multiple choice, sir. 1 minute. No, no, no. Yeah. The question has been generated. Is it on the screen? Is it on the screen?
Yes, madam.
Sir, we can answer. I don't know the answer of it. What is the primary medium through which sound waves travel? Yes. I think we have the answer. Sound waves through air, sir. Is it right? Check. Correct. So this quite gives some kind of interest with the students. Okay. This is one. And true or false we can give, and an open question also. So you start using it. Ask the students also to explore into it. We will get some kind of good way of. Okay, this is the next one. That is uh, quiz generator based on AI. The next one is Quillbot. I think my screen has changed now to Quillbot. Let me share the link to you. This is my screen. Quillbot. It is a better way of writing. Better way of writing. Uh, Paraphrasing, grammar checking, plagiarism checking, citation generation, summarizer, and analyze the text. So all this, it has been done, and this is purely, it is a free. See, add to Chrome. I'm just adding it. I have not added it to Chrome. I'm adding it to Chrome now. So this is, I call it as extension of my Chrome. Okay, add to Chrome. Add extension. See, it is asking me add extension. Yes, I'm giving it as adding extension. So what happens? See in this screen now, here it is adding it. On the top right, my extension of this Quillbot is added to the Chrome. And I can just sync it. Now I've got it along with my Chrome. Now I don't have limitation. I've installed Quillbot's Chrome extension. I think the screen is now visible. Okay. So what happens? Paraphraser. I can go for grammar check. AI detector. This I haven't used. Plagiarism I have done. Summarizer. Translator. Citation generator. Quillbot flow. And premium and other thing, we are not going to go for it. So these are really good. When I make a content, when I draft a letter to my higher official for a personal and official, what happens now? Like I can just paraphrase it. I go for paraphrase, maybe one or two option we can try. Suppose I am pasting a text here. My leave letter text, let me paste. The students are very clever in submitting assignment using paraphrase. So I'm just pasting a text. This is a leave letter text which I got it through ChatGPT. And I don't want the same text. I'm just giving paraphrase. Here with limits also I can mention. See the changes in the sentence. The changes what I kindly request your approval for this leave Please let me know if any further information or documentation. I respectively request your approval for this leave. So some changes. It will be helpful for us in doing some paperwork when I submit a paper for a journal. When I submit my thesis, when I submit a letter, when I would like to make a content for my class. So this paraphrasing really helps. So this the same I can do it for a grammar check also. So this is of an extension of Chrome, which we call it as Quillbot. Quillbot. Certain things, many are available. We can use it. So how we start, I mean, when we start using it, maybe we'll become familiar and we can use it for, because we need not to struggle. No, we are writing it on the paper, again typing it, again checking it again. See how much time it is taking. So I'm going to chat GPT. I'm giving my content. Wanted to submit a leave letter to my principal, or permission letter from principal, or an essay on Independence Day. So all this I require, but instead of doing with the normal traditional method, what I do is actually I go to the technology which is available, save my time and do it very quality. So when I do it with the help of Quillbot and ChatGPT, the quality of my student will see that the content is really good. My principal will appreciate me. My head of the department will appreciate me. So all these are done with the help of the Quillbot. Please do use this so that you will understand the real needy essence of it. And I can create a citation also. The same if I am just giving some content. Say I have given one content and I'm giving it to cite it. Cite. So it says that search for books instead or use a different search item. Cite it manually. This content I'm asking, where is it available in the? So I'm giving a site, maybe in a research or in books. See, it is giving that this Ukraine is a country in Eastern Europe. This is available in all these books. This content is available in all these books. In research, I am not finding. Okay. So I can go to the particular text over there and I can find it. Okay, I can find it. I can take the content. Whatever I require, I can take the content. So this is about Quillbot. Quillbot. Yeah. And the next one is, which I would like to discuss with this. How do I make my PowerPoint? Easily, effectively, effectively. There is one particular Gamma app PowerPoint developer. That also I am now sharing it in the chat box. See, there are plenty available. Sir, madam, there are plenty available. But I am just giving you an eye opening. There is one X available for this particular purpose. And I don't recommend only on that X. I recommend you to do the work simple and easily and quality with the help of these kind of app available. Okay. And this Gamma app, this is used for generating PowerPoint. Let me close this one. Everything continue with the Gmail only. It's easy for us. Because we are actually signing in with the help of our Gmail account. Gmail account. So that Gmail account, we are using it for all the software and the for work, for school, for school. Which of the following best describes a teacher? He's asking me so many questions. I've given the answer. University. Okay. Okay. I think the screen is now in the view mode. Yes. Yes. Shall I create a content? Okay. Let me give a content here, something about. Yeah, I'm just giving only one line. Independence Day in India 2024 with pictures. With pictures. Presentation. Continue. Continue. Generate. See, my PowerPoint has come. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. Sir, how fast it has generated PowerPoint, sir? I'm surprised. My God. Historical significance. That is the second slide. The third slide is national symbols, celebrations across India, flag hoisting, cultural, patriotic songs. My God, sir. Remembering the freedom fighters. Wow. Really good. Really, really good. Sir, how much time for it will take for me to create this PPT? Sir, madam, it's really big surprise for me. Happy. I'm happy. 1 hour. Yes, sir. For me, it will take me more. So these pictures pictures all looks very realistic. Very, very
More,
realistic.
madam.
Yes, madam.
More than 1 hours.
Yes,
If we-
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. For us, it will take more than 1 hour, ma'am. Oh my God. Nice. Happy Independence Day. Yeah. So this one particular, this Gamma app, it creates really wonderful, sir. Really wonderful, ma'am. Wow. And it is giving my name also. Thank God. But I have not done anything. Huh? Dr. G.M. Nazira, last edited one. And present, share. I can also share this. I can share. Yeah. I can, yeah. Copy link. Sir, we can, I think we can do it in the class itself. We can just open it. We can do it in the class itself. Yeah, really, this is really. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. So this is one thing, which is really helpful. Okay, so you like to see how we've got impressed now. These pictures are really giving us some good energy, fresh energy. So the same we can do it for the students also. That is what is request. Yeah. Next we'll go to. Next we'll just see on something about. I think SCI Hub SCA Hub, those who have completed doctorates must have come across this SCA Hub. Science Hub it is. Science Hub. Yes, CI. Yeah, we can edit also. We can edit also. That was the option it was showing now. Wait a minute, let me show it. Last edited. So here, see, we can make it, we can do some editing, sir. It is possible, sir. We can do some editing also. It is available. Alignment editing is there, left alignment, all this, and this alignment. And edit your display name in account setting. On the dashboard, click on the workspace, drop down your name and profile photo. Maybe here. We can add some notes, sir. Sir, is the screen is visible only now? You are able to see now what I'm doing now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. We can add some notes also over here. NEP. 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 Come, I have given one NEP. Yeah. Editing is also possible. My God. I think to look into this itself, it will take some time for us to learn how these things have happened. Very nice. Okay. If I give in the historical significance, I've given NEP, I've added and that particular select this slide and add the notes which we want to incorporate into it. So in that particular slide, it is getting into. Let me try once again. Present. No. Here I would like to do some smart templates, smart layouts, basic blocks. Sir, can you see in the right side? The toolbox is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, there we can do some option. Maybe we will have to little sit on this and we will understand. Okay. Please try on this. And the themes, you can edit the theme. Dark, light, professional, color, customize as we want it. See, the theme has changed now immediately, instantly it is getting changed. We want it colorful. All these options are there available. Yeah, nice, very nice. Okay, and we are into SCI hub. Yeah, let me share the screen now. Okay, this hopefully must have tried now. SCI hub. I'm just sharing the link. So actually, this is one particular site where you can get the databases or very what I use is I use it for getting the full papers of the journal. Normally we don't get full paper, we get only the abstract. What happens now, they ask us to pay for the full paper. Maybe some reputed journals we don't get the full article published by the particular author. So when we do our research, when we do some paper publication, we would like to have some reference papers. So every time we cannot go unpaid. So here we will give the DOI number. Let me see. See, I'm just giving Google Scholar Nazira, my scholar page. So I'm getting my scholar page here. So this is my scholar page. Okay. Where my citation details are this 996 total together. Total my H index and the I index. This is my citation value, citation number. Yeah. Now all these papers actually I don't get the full papers. Some journal papers, if I wanted to have a full paper of it, I have to take my DOI number so that I get the full paper. Otherwise, I get only the abstract of it. So when I give my DOI number, what happens now? My full paper, I get it. See, conference, chapter, book. 1 minute. I have to, like, minute. Not with my page. This particular paper, if I search in Google, I get only the abstract of it. It's an IEEE journal. So I don't get the full paper of it. So once I get the abstract, I get the DOI along with the abstract. I give this DOI number in my SCI hub, I get the full paper. Let me just bring the DOI number so that you can just feel how we get the full paper. It's taking some time. Should have gone for some. Okay, any paper. Maybe someone can tell your name. Maybe we can search that full paper if you feel okay, comfortable. I just want to show you the essence of this particular. Yeah, I've got one DOI number now.
काय म्हणते रामदास
काय नाही पहिले होता ना लय
Yes, sir.
झालं का पाणी यायला पाहिजे जी
पाणी येते 2 दिवस
हं.
पण निरारच पकडत आहे
हे आमचं गोटाड सुकत आहे जी त्याला काही होत नाही
My SCI hub screen is there. no?
नंबर झाला.
I am just pasting the DOI number.
थोडा सत्र पाणी
When I
चालू
say open, I should get the full paper.
एक चांगला मोठा शिरवा आला ना ते काम भागून
तरी
जाईल
काम बघून
इकडे.
Meenakshi Patel. Yeah,
Hmm.
ma'am. Try now. Is it okay, ma'am? Is my screen now? SCI screen has pulled out
चांगला
the
खत दिला ते
full paper.
कापसाला गड्डा करू तसं द्या म्हणलं हे गाडा सोयाबीन मध्ये दिसत नाही पुढे
ते नाही ना
Is the screen, sir? We are hearing two conversations cross talk.
आमचं कसं नरम होतं ना तेव्हा
नरम होतं.
तेव्हा नरम होतं
आता लागेल ना याला माप
Okay, fine. Let's start finish and come. So I have got the full paper. Is the screen
चांगलं लागतं
is the screen visible, sir?
औषध मारलं म्हणून जमलंय काय
गोष्टी पकडत आहे
Okay.
Yes, sir.
मी म्हणलं लेट लागेल
Yes.
पण
Okay.
पकडतो.
Now let me try on Meenakshi.
चालली हा.
ही जर दुसरी वाटते
Acha, this is the link. Okay. Madam has given the link.
बॅकिंग तुम्हाला होते कोटाडीतच
हम्म.
कोटाडीतच
गेल्या वर्षी तिथं चांगलं झालं आता सुधारलं ना गोटाडे
One mic is unmute, madam. Munde sir, your conversation we are listening here. Please.
Okay, Meenakshi madam has given. Nice. That's it. IEEE paper she has given of a conference. And we'll see the DOA. Yeah, we've got the DOA. Oh, image processing and machine learning in concrete cube crack detection. That's up, ma'am. Okay, so this is the DOI number. I'm copying the DOI number. Madam, is the screen now on the view mode? What I'm doing?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So copy. I'm going to Sci-Hub. Madam paper. This paper I got. Access to this is requires access to this document requires a subscription. Okay, let me give it the DOI total. Copy. Oh, why it is again coming this one? Oh, I've taken this. I should take this. Sorry. I'm taking my paper. So, copy, come to SCI Hub, paste it here. Madam, your paper is not coming to us. DOI we are giving. We are not getting your paper, madam. We are not getting your paper. 1 minute, let me try once again. Oh, it's a recent paper, so not coming. Okay, ma'am. Sure, sure, sure. Okay. So SEA Hub, we can try this way. I think I have to learn many from you. Okay. And next is, and make a use of this also. Yeah. And next we'll go to all these AI tools. Where is it available? I will give you a web page. From there, we can go find out what are the latest AI tools, and we can draw attention for our requirement. We can use the tools. This is one page. Control V. FAVIRD. Let me open it. Before that, let me share it. Close all this. So FAVIRD. FAVIRD. This is the web page, which, my God, when I just started exploring this particular web page, it was some 300, 400, maybe in 2024 only. Now we have 2,140 items. On different categories, we have the AI tools and application. AI tools and application, we have it in different categories. For 3D, insights, advertising, sports, which I found one was very interesting. Interior design, machine learning embedding, lyrics, logo creation, music, NLP, neural networks, news, newsletter. So many AI tools and applications are there, and every day it is coming up. It is popping up every day for trading, for weather forecasting, for website building, and for workspace writing, for creating our own YouTube page. Okay. And many for tutorials, travel, training data. Many of us are doing with our research. So this is one website where you can bookmark and keep along with the Chrome, so that what happens now, we get the latest one. You can try one among this, and you can just learn the latest one also. And it is not only related to any particular subject. See, voice we have, and we have text to speech, text to music, text to image. Shall we try this? Text to image. Suppose free IA image generator with stable diffusion. Yeah, okay. Let me go to this. Free AI art generator. This tool says free AI art generator. Image to text. When I go for image, when I say beautiful, or I'll say flower, flowers. AI model can't be blank. What is it telling? Image generation. Photo to sketch. 1 minute. Which particular screen is there? Is this art emitter is sharing that particular screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. So art emitter. art emitter, image generation, photo to sketch, redraw into realistic, delete the objects. That is what we are getting. Some app, some advertisement is coming. One particular maybe mobile phone, deleting the objects, you are getting the only the actual picture, our face or some kind of mobile. So these are the some apps. Actually, this I haven't tried actually. This I haven't tried. So all these, if required, maybe who are into this field, you can try over it. Okay. And we'll just go into, I think, Gamma, Sky Hub, and other things like what I would like to now share is my PPT. Okay, and all these you can try. Lead Code, Hacker, Earth, Unstop, Copilot. There are many other apps which does the actually different purpose. So all that we can just go through, and there are plenty available. Not only with these few, there are plenty available. So please make use of, and every individual tool is supporting for every individual component. Let's not go to the very higher level. Let's make some small things which will really give us some joy. As we female, many of us, instead of going and buying a bangle of a fashion or a trendy, we get the raw material, and once we make it, no, when it comes into a beautiful bangle, that's really happy for us, and we teach others also. So that is how ICT is. You have to bring all the required document in different formats from different areas, and you'll have to blend it and you'll have to do it. This is one thing which we'll have to do. So these are the, and MOOC is one massive open online courses. I think like Professor Atik sir, he must have developed a lot of content into it. So let's all get together in the sense, let's not feel different that we are not updated in ICT, because the student is now above us in this digital era. So let's our role also be really fruitful and updated also. Once we are not updated, I think we will go outdated, as we always say. Okay, so thank you for the patient listening, and I thank the university and the MHRT for giving me an opportunity to meet another group of intellectuals who are there in this platform. So thank you, Professor Atik sir, Muhammad Atik sir, the chairperson, the organizer, and as usual, always who gives me a good intro, Professor Thakur, Ankit, no? Thakur. Sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. So thank you all. I hope you will have some kind of takeaways. Even if not to any particular app, maybe some takeaway telling that we have to embed ourselves with the ICT. So that if I have thrown a light with that idea, I think I'm successful. Thank you all for being with me. And sir, can I wind up the session?
Yeah, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Yes, participants, if you have any questions or the queries with regards to that tools ma'am has explained here, you can directly ask to Nasira ma'am, if anyone have. I think during the hands-on session, ma'am, we have already resolved all
We
the
had some interaction, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Through chat box we had some.
So,
Okay. Anyhow, we'll learn.
so on
Yeah.
behalf of Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Garge Baba Amravati University, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Nasira ma'am. First of all, we are extremely regret for the inconvenience caused that has been happened due to the some network issue during the beginning of session. So, ma'am, during this session, we have elaborate and demonstrate the various tools that have been really wonderful and available in the public in the open source domain that should be used in the daily teaching learning as well as for our research. Really, ma'am, that tools are very fantastic, and definitely we are sure that we should inculcate in our research work, in our teaching and our upcoming learning process. So I once again extend my sincere gratitude towards Dr. Nasira ma'am for being with us, enlighten us, and sparing her precious time to enlighten us towards this adoption of information and communication technology (ICT). And I am also thankful to all the participants for their active engagement during this session, and with the kind consent of Dr. Nasira ma'am, I would like to declare that this lecture will be over here and we will continue for the next lecture. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Let me also learn along with you all, sir. I really feel learning from people. Like these platforms help us in learning. Some like how to organize ourselves, how we'll have to interact, how we will have to get along with the speakers. Certain things I'm really learning. And thank you for the opportunity. Once again, I thank you all for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Professor Atik sir.
Atik sir is
Yes,
there?
sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Atik
ma'am.
sir with you,
Oh,
sir.
oh, nice. Okay, sir. How are you,
Fine,
sir?
fine. How are you, ma'am? How are you?
Yeah, doing good, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am. And
thank
I feel sorry for the disruption, whatever has happened. But it was due to power failure. There was
Acha,
no.
but anyhow, is it a virtual reality or it is an augmented or it's a
Yeah,
real?
this is this is.
Very nice, sir. Very
Thank you
nice.
so much.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you once
Nice
again
seeing
on
you.
behalf
Yeah.
of MMTC HRDC. Thank you once again for your valuable time. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, all the best. Thank you, all participants. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Friends, so we are moving towards our next lecture, and Professor Atik sir will conduct the session that is on the very crucial and important theme of the research and development, with particular to research and development. It's what happened. We are already trying to approach some funding agencies to getting grants for our research and execution of different kind of projects in our domain. So we have already we will first of all, sir has already covered that particular thing, whatever may be the publication ethics and research integrity in our publication work, but how we should write the innovative proposals and how we could approach the funding agency for the getting the funding towards our research. So sir will explain and demonstrate that particular research proposal writing in a very innovative way in today's session. Sir, I again extend my warm welcome to you and request you to start with the session. So please.
Thank you very much, Ankit.
Sir, your voice is little bit low, sir.
Hello, whether I am audible now?
Yeah, sir. Now it is clear, sir. Now it is
Okay,
clear.
okay. Thank you very much, Ankit, for the brief introduction, what I am going to talk, right? So once again, we are here for, again, a couple of 90 minutes, I should say, right? I will start sharing my screen, but before that, I hope I am audible. I am
Yes,
audible?
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm starting to share my screen. Is this okay, whether the screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm facing some bandwidth issue. It may happen that in between, I don't know how much it will allow me, but it may happen that I'll switch off my camera. Okay, I'll try to keep it as it is. Okay, but if it happens, if you don't get, don't worry. I'm very much there. But I hope you will be able to hear me, right? I think the connection is getting stabilized. Okay, and I'm getting some bandwidth issue. Okay. So you have to bear with me, and I don't know, today, that is from 3 o'clock itself, we are facing some or the other problem, right? So let's hope for the best, and hopefully you will get the entire session and without any disruptions, right? So with this, I will start my session. I hope the very first slide is there on the screen. It is there on the screen.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, great. I am going into presentation mode. Okay, yeah. And I hope the slides are changing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Okay, so as Ankita said, that today we'll just have a look at. Last time I talked on one important aspect, what they call it as what is academic integrity and research ethics and so on. So in line with that, this is the second probably talk. That is, let's say you are new into a system. Okay, you entered into this profession, let's hope as an assistant professor, and many times you feel that that is how to approach the funding agency. So in this next 90 minutes, I will tell you in all the aspects of how to write, you can say, a successful research proposal, right? So we'll see every minute thing, okay, and we'll just try to finish up within the stipulated time. So as you can see here, the title is Proposal Writing for Grants. So our objective is to fetch the grant, okay. And you may ask, sir, why this is needed, okay. Forget about the API score and all. But let's say if you want to have your own resources, okay. I very well remember when I entered into university setup way back in 2007. What has happened, I was not having a PC on my table. So what I thought, then I inquired here and there, and then I approached the head of the department. Then he said, sir, we are already having a shortage of resources. So I'll not be in a position to spare any machine for any of the staff, not only for me, but and this is more or less the scenario everywhere, right? So to solve these kind of problem, what you can do, you can create your own resources. So what I did, within 6 months, I approached to UGC, and then I applied for a major research project. Okay. And fortunately, in the first attempt, I was not successful because I commit, I should say, to be very honest, that I commit a lot of mistakes. And that's why my proposal was rejected. Then it is my way of working. That is, I never give up. So what I did, I submitted it in the next year again. Okay. And then again faced the interview in the UGC office, and fortunately I got the approval from the UGC, right? So I got to the tune of around 17-18 lakh rupees. Okay, but they have not given me the research associate and so on. But I was happy because I got a lot of resources. I got not only 2-3 personal desktops, but laptop and printers and scanners and whatnot. So what I intend to say is, this is why the idea behind sharing this scenario is just to give you an idea, that is how you can create your own resources in your organization. So naturally, if you create your own resources, it is beneficial for you as well as for your organization. Okay, because NAC again, it gives weightage to this major research project and so on. And when it comes to your personal, there are many positions wherever when you apply for higher positions, there is a criteria that you must have executed at least 2 major research projects, right? So it is needed. What I mean to say, there has to be at least 2 or 3 major research project in your profile. Okay, then it will become, you can say, competent enough, right? So in today's session, we will just have a look at how to write a research proposal. Rather, I'll correct the title. That is how to write a successful research proposal, right? So as I have told you, that is, we will start from scratch, right? These are the learning objectives of this session. That is, as I said, that we will start from scratch. That is how to find out a private or government funding agency. The very first thing which comes to your mind is the discipline you belong to. So then again, you have thousands of agencies, government as well as private. So how to identify the appropriate funding agency, the very first thing. Then different funding agencies has got different formats for, you can say, RFP, what they call it is the request for proposal. Okay. So you need to understand the RFP in detail first. Then how to prepare an RFP. Okay. Once again, we'll start from scratch. Okay, all the important aspect I'll tell you in detail, that is how to write and so on, right? So understanding a RFP, then preparing an RFP, that is from scratch to finish, and the last but not the least is how you can avoid the common mistakes. Okay, that is intentionally or unintentionally we commit certain mistakes and we fail, right? So how we can avoid those small mistakes? Okay, that is there on the agenda, right? So these are the learning objectives for this particular session. Let's go one by one. Okay, the very first thing is that is why write for grants. Okay, so one reason I have told you, that is if you want to create your own resources, okay, you need to have these kind of things in your portfolio, right? So personal and professional, right? It will not only give you your personal growth, but professional growth. As I said, that is there are many positions wherein it is necessary to have one or two research project in your profile, right? Say then understanding, exploring your chosen field. So if you want to say, let's say if you want to carry out research in a greater detail, so naturally you require fund. You require fund for equipment. You require fund for you can say conducting various surveys and so on, right? So you have to have fund, because normally the organizations, whether you are in a university or a college, okay, normally they don't give you funds for executing your research, right? There is no special head. Okay, then building credibility and scholarship. Okay, that is the another reason. Then grant, you can say writing, it provides money for, there are three different heads in which you can fetch the grant. The very first and obvious thing is for procurement of equipment, right? So equipment is one of the major head of any research proposal, right? Any RFP, irrespective of the funding agency. Okay, normally they provide money in these three major heads. They call it as expenditure heads, right? So equipment is one of them. Second is hiring for human resources. Let's say if you want to execute the project wherein you require one or two research assistant, then definitely that comes under hiring of human resources. So you can very well appoint that subject to whether if you are getting money in that particular head. Okay, if you are not getting, definitely you will not be able to execute it. So hiring human resources, that is appointment of a research assistant, okay, and so on. Then many times, okay, let's say if you have carried out research and then you want to go and disseminate that knowledge to the rest of the world or the research community, you normally require to visit, you can say the foreign countries or maybe an event like say international conference and so on. So for that particular purpose, again, they provide you money. They call it as travel for attending conferences, workshop, etc. Okay, normally UGC, there are restrictions. It depends upon which particular agency you are entering into. Okay, but UGC gives you money for attending international conferences within India. Okay, but there are agencies wherein you may get money for even attending conferences outside the country as well, right? So these are the three major heads. Normally, the funding agency pump their money, right? So equipment, I hope these heads are clear to you. And again, I'll share some, you can say my experiences as well. Let's say if you get 5 lakh rupees in equipment and zero amount in hiring of human resources, then it is not possible for you to invest that whatever amount is left under equipment head into any other head. Okay, so you have to typically execute it in the respective head only, right? Otherwise, when you submit the utilization certificate, normally they disallow it. Okay, and in that case, definitely you have to bear that cost on your own. Okay, so it is highly dangerous. So it is advisable that if you are getting say 10 lakh rupees in equipment, you must spend that amount in that particular head only. Okay, so equipment, hiring of resources, and travel for attending the conferences. These are the three major heads in which usually almost all the funding agencies, they sanction you some money or research amount for these policies, right? Now, the very first thing is there, as I have told you, that is whenever, let's say you want to write a research proposal, okay, the very first thing you need to do is you have to identify or you have to find out a funding agency, right? So that is the very first step. So as I have told you, that we will start from scratch. Okay, so finding appropriate, I should say, a funding agency. So there are numerous funding agencies. Some of the funding agencies I have listed out on this particular slide. Say the very first one, which is there for science and technology or those who are from engineering background, is undoubtedly All India Council for Technical Education or AICT. then CSIR is there, okay, then DRDO is there, then Department of Atomic Energy, or DAE, what they call it as. Okay, again, most of these agencies are open. They don't restrict themselves to a specific domain. Okay, whether the problem, you need to justify your relevance to that particular project, right? That funding agency's objectives. If it is not so, normally they don't accept, but they are, most of the time they are open, right? And they encourage, another important aspect is they encourage, what should I say, that is interdisciplinary research. That is highly encouraged by almost all the funding agencies, right? The another important agency is what they call it as those who are from biotechnology. DBT is there, which is dedicatedly for biotechnology people, right? Then Ministry of Coal. Okay, normally we don't explore these, but these agencies, again, they fund you money. Okay, because nowadays we are fitting a lot of, you can say, the environmental issues. So Ministry of Coal, then Ministry of Earth Sciences, then DSIR, okay, then Indian Council for Medical Research, that is ICMR, which is typically for medical research and so on, right? So India Meteorological Department, okay, which is climate change and so on. Again, they pump certain amount of money, okay, for carrying out the research. So this is not an exhaustive list, I should say. This is only an indicative list. Okay, this is not exhaustive. These are some of the important funding agencies which I have identified. Normally, those who are in teaching and research, we normally approach these funding agency most of the time, right? Most of the time. But apart from them, again, we have a lot of agencies, right? Then ISRO is there, okay. Then DITE is there. This is under Department of Electronics, okay. DITE is again pumping a lot of money, right? Then Ministry of, you can say, Forest and Climate Change, and so on, right? Ministry of Social Justice is there, Ministry of Water Resources there, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas is there, and of course, last but not the least is the University Grant Commission, right? Which any one of us can approach, right? Which any one of us can approach, right? So these are some national agencies, whatever we have seen just now. There are some international agencies again, right? They again fund a lot of money, okay, for carrying out some, you can say, the research which is of social importance and so on, like say UNDP, Information on Climate Change, okay. So these funding agencies, again, they can give you money, okay, and usually the amount of money given by all these international funding agencies is in dollars, okay. So you get huge amount of money, but the only thing is that you have to have that background and the prerequisite, okay. All those things are there. But there are, again, you can see that United Nations work on climate change, okay. Then United Nations Framework for Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC. Then IPCC is there, okay, that is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So this way there are thousands of agencies, but they are equally funding money for carrying out research, okay, in a specific domain, I should say, right? Now, how to find out the funding agencies? I have told you that is there are thousands of agencies. Now, how to locate which is the best fit for us? Okay, so finding you need to find out the funding agency's goals, okay, and whatever area you are working in, whether those goals and the funding agency goals, whether they are in line. In line, what I mean to say, let's say you are working in say engineering and technology, and if you approach, for example, an agency which are into a socio-economic kind of domain, then definitely there is a mismatch between the area you are working into, okay. But what you need to do, let's say if you want to approach them, you can very well approach them, but you need to mold your problem in such a way it should be in line with the objectives of the funding agency. Okay, let's say woman empowerment, and you are into a technological domain. So you have to justify the relevance of the work you are carrying out. Let's say you are working on sensor networks. Okay, so whatever gadget you are designing, you can justify that that gadget will be of immense use to women security. Okay, so if you can do so, then and then there is a possibility that you will get the money. So in short, what I mean to say, that is funding agency goals and the project's goals should be in line. That is, they must match. Okay. If they mismatch, if there is a mismatch, then definitely you will not get the money for that. Okay. So the very first thing you need, now you may say, sir, how to find out the funding agency's goal? If you go to their website, okay, you will find that almost every information, whatever I am talking about, it is very much there. The only thing is that we never explore it. Okay. So if you go through even the RFP document, it will tell you everything about what is expected. Okay, research outcome, relevance, domain, and whatnot, right? So research, the another important aspect which you can see is you can see the funding agency has funded what are the projects they have funded in the recent past, maybe 5 years down the line. So from the title itself, you can find out what are the area they are in, right? So accordingly, you need to see and you need to shortlist those agencies and find out the most appropriate agency which fits into your project goals, right? So don't apply to an agency for a grant that is too big. Okay. The another important aspect is, let's say there is a cap. Okay, there is a cap. For example, major research project, there is a cap of, let's say, 25 lakh. And if you ask for, say, 2 crore rupees, I'm sorry, they will not give you, right? So it will be summarily rejected. So the funda here is, don't apply to an agency for a grant that is too big, meaning thereby you have to adhere to the guideline. Okay. So in guideline, they specifically mention that usually they fund to the tune of 25 to 30 lakh rupees. Okay. It is not, they are not very stringent on that, but it should not be 3 times to the amount which is there in the project cost, right? If it is so, then definitely they will summarily reject your proposal. Get institutional backing and support. Okay, this is very important. Let's say you have to have backing of your institution, and this institution plays a vital role. In a sense, let's say if you are approaching through IITs, definitely there is every possibility because they are the institute of national importance. Okay, so all these funding agencies, they have a lot of faith in them. Okay, the next comes the institute of, you can say the national importance, then state universities, then central universities, right? And so on and so forth. And then at the end, we have colleges and so on. Okay. So get institutional backing, public support. So what you can do, let's say if you are from a college setup, you can have some collaboration with the people working in the universities or institute of national importance, and you can go for a joint project. That is again possible. Okay. So get institutional backing and support is very important. Let's say for installing the equipment, again, you require some laboratory. Okay. And let's say your institute is saying no for that, then how you will execute the project, right? And if your project requires some, you can say the infrastructural requirements are there. So for all those purposes, that's why I said getting institutional backing and support is very, very important. Okay. Don't assume the funding agencies knows your strength. Normally, this is the very common mistake we commit. That is, we feel that they know everything about us, but that is not the reality, right? So some way or the other, you have to demonstrate or rather highlight what are your strengths as a PI. PI means, you can say the principal investigator, right? So normally there is a structure like, say, you have to have a PI, then co-PI, there are provisions. So if you really require, you can go for a co-PI as well. Okay, and it's better to work in team so that the load can be shared. So the most important aspect here is, that is funding agency. We assume that they know everything about us, but that is not true. Okay, that's why some way or the other, they ask for your profile. So and that profile again has to be very brief. Okay, if you write 28-page profile, okay, nobody will go through it. Okay, or 30-page profile, nobody will go through it. Normally, they ask for very specific information about yourself. So adhere to those formats only. Don't try to, you can say, change the format which has been given by the funding agency. Then follow the agency's instruction. As I said repeatedly, I am telling you, that is, you have to strictly adhere to the instruction, whatever has been given by the funding agency. Let's say you miss a particular document, it may happen that in the very first phase, in the scrutiny itself, your projects get rejected, right? So you have to follow the agency's instruction. Okay. So these are the normally the things we commit with regard to funding agency, identifying the funding agency. So these are the important points. Then let's say you have identified the funding agencies, then you want to write down the proposal. Okay. So the very first thing you need to do is you have to download the RFP along with the guidelines. Okay. Take a hard copy of it, go through every bit of it. Okay. And then think of the project, whatever you are planning for. Right. So the very first step, okay, that is whenever you wish to plan for the project or the research proposal, is you have to carry out a literature survey. Okay, exhaustive literature survey. That is what we do in case of any kind of research, whether you are undergoing a PhD or MPhil or whatever, right? So you have to have an exhaustive literature survey. Okay, then you have to gather some of the experiences, okay, from your seniors or colleagues, okay, and then brainstorming with your colleague. Okay, this is again missing in our culture. Normally, we never disclose, okay, what we are planning for. Okay, but if you brainstorm, okay, having a cup of tea or coffee with your colleague, okay, and you simply toss that idea and see the reaction of the other people on that aspect. Okay, many times it happens that you will find that there are certain things which is beyond your imagination as well, right? So that's why it is said that कि भाई कई बार जो है आपके दुश्मन से भी आपने मशवरा लेना चाहिए, right? Because even if he or she is your enemy, but or a competitor, but that doesn't mean that all the time the same scenario. It may happen that if you toss it all of a sudden, some prompt responses you will get, and from that point itself you may get some idea. So brainstorming is very important. Brainstorming with your colleague is very important. And as I have told you that it's always advisable to go for a co-PI or build a team of people, at least 2-3 people, even you are one of your, you can say the PhD scholar and so on, right? So literature review you have to carry out, then you have to gather certain experiences, and many times it is advisable to go for a brainstorming with your colleague. Okay. So if you follow this, you can identify the problem, what exactly is relevant and is important as well. Okay. Then these are the questions you need to ask. If you formulate the problem, let's say you have identified certain thing, very one-line statement is there, which you have identified, well, I want to write a research proposal on this particular topic, right? So topic you have identified, the very first thing you need to do is you have to ask yourself a set of questions. Okay, what problem am I trying to solve? Okay, so whether it is a social problem or whether it is a technological problem or a scientific problem, whatever it is, okay, just ask this question. Whatever answer you are going to get is nothing but the problem definition. So what do I need to solve the problem? Now, in what way I can solve it? Okay, not exactly the entire solution, but a broader perspective has to be ready in your mind. So what do I need to solve the problem? Okay, then what happens when the problem is solved? What is the impact? Okay, if you answer these questions, you will find that you get answers to a lot of things which is there in the RFP. Okay, if you look at the RFP document, you will find that these things are there. So they ask for problem definition, they ask for in what way the problem is important to society, and so on and so forth, right? So this way you can formulate the problem by asking these 3 simple questions to yourself. Okay, what problem am I trying to solve? Many times it happens that if you are trying to solve a problem which is not worth considering, okay, so for there itself you can reject it and you should go for the second one, right? So what problem I'm trying to solve? What do I need to solve the problem? What is the methodology? What should be in a broader perspective? I'm not saying that you just solve the problem and then go for the proposal writing, right? Then what happens when the problem is solved? What is the impact? Social impact. Usually these questions are there. What is the social impact of the problem you are going to solve? Okay, let's say, as I have told you, that is in case of, let's say you are working in technology and you are devising a device which can be used for women protection. So you can very well conclude that, well, sir, this is women empowerment is nowadays is a very hot topic, right? So this is very much relevant to that, right? So this way you have to justify the solution must be, you can say, of some practical use. Okay, then definitely people will accept it. So these 3 questions are needed when it comes to problem definition, right? Now, let's have a look at what are the various components of now an RFP. See, these are common to all the funding agency, irrespective of any specific, let's say if you go for UGC or AICT or any other funding agency, even international funding agency, you will find that they expect this is you can say this is what they expect in the RFP. Okay, so abstract has to be there, and abstract must be, you can say, very short. Okay, very short. So writing abstract is an art, I should say. But even though this particular point, even though it is the very first point, actually, as a matter of fact, it has to be written at the end. Okay, because it is the crust of the entire story, whatever you are going to deal with. And say this is applicable to even when you write your research thesis. Again, this is very much applicable to it in a sense. That is why I'm saying abstract is important. That is, everyone, whether it is your evaluator or reviewer, he or she will definitely go through your abstract, and he or she will have a broad understanding what exactly you are talking about. So this is your first and the last impression, and it is said that your first impression is the last impression, right? So abstract must, even though it appears as the very first point in the RFP, it must be written at the end. It must be written how to write abstract. That again we will have a detailed look at when we will move further. Then the second is the introduction. Okay, introduction about the problem. Then background literature survey. Okay, you have to carry out literature survey of last 3 or 5 years at the most. Those who are into technology, 3 to 5 years is the timeline usually, right? Then problem statement of the research question. Okay, so if you remember the earlier slide, I have told you that is you need to ask 3 questions to yourself. Okay, and by answering those questions, you will get answer to all these things, right? Problem statement or research questions. What will be the proposed research methodology? A broader picture, again, not the complete or the entire solution. Then what are the expected outcomes or deliverables? This is very important, right? If it is not having any kind of deliverables or any kind of outcomes, okay, no impact on the society, no impact, no application in any domain, then the area you are into, that is not a very relevant area, right? So you have to simply drop the idea of going for proposal, right? So expected outcomes and deliverables. Let's say at the end of the execution of this particular research proposal, we will design a device which will be of help to women's, okay, for their security and so on. Okay, whatever. So you should be very clear in that. Okay, so these are the you can say these 6 important points wherein they expect, okay, that you are supposed to write. Okay, and you have to write again. Most of the funding agencies, they don't expect that you should write the introduction of 20 or 30 odd pages. Again, there are limited words, limited pages. Okay, or at least the length has been clearly defined by most of the funding agencies. So you should be very clear about that, right? Abstract, fine. Next, introduction, background, literature review, and problem statement, and so on. Now, what is project abstract? Let us have a look at this. Okay, we'll just go one by one. So it basically introduces your projects, its goals, and potential impact to the funding agency. So as I have told you, that is the most difficult part of writing any RFP is writing the abstract, right? Because हिंदी में जैसे बोलते हैं अपन कि भाई समंदर को आप कूजे में बंद कर रहे हो. So every statement it carries some meaning. So you must take utmost care while writing the abstract. Okay, that is this work demonstrate or this project will be able to demonstrate, and then very small 2-3 words, important keywords. Okay, whatever. So its goal, it should have 1 or 2 or 3 statements on its goals, and then its impact. Okay, to the funding agency, because you have to always keep in your mind that is you are writing for funds to a specific funding agency. So their objectives, if there is a mismatch, then they will say, no, it is not the area we are into. I am sorry, we will not be able to proceed further. Okay. Written to attract readers to your proposal. As I have told you that everybody, so whenever you write proposal, it goes for just like your paper, whenever you write, goes for evaluation to the examiner. Okay, it goes to the reviewer. Okay, so reviewer will go through the abstract. Whether he or she will not read the entire RFP, but he or she will definitely go through the abstract. And definitely they will create some idea about your project, what you are talking about. So written to attract readers to your proposal gives good initial impression. And as I've told you that your first impression is the last impression, right? So abstract, even though it comes first, it must be written at the end. Okay, it must be written at the end, right? Then write this last, as I've told you. Okay, abstract should be one page. Again, this is very common mistake. Many times we write this stuff and we forget about the number of pages. Okay, it should not be more than one page document. Okay, you can manipulate in terms of, you can say, and it should not be very lengthy, I tell you. Okay, most of the funding agency, they restrict the length of the abstract should be between 350 to 500 words or 700 words at the most, right? If it is specifically mentioned, then you have to adhere to those guidelines. So abstract should be one page and should be self-contained. What do you mean by self-contained? Meaning thereby, we should not ask the reader to read something else to understand your abstract. Okay, normally we have references, you know, but you must have seen whether it is a paper abstract or a research proposal abstract, you hardly find any references over there. But not at all, rather. Okay, hardly find meaning thereby if you are intentionally putting some reference number 1 over there in square bracket and asking the reader and that reference you are putting at the end, okay, that is absolutely wrong, rubbish, right? So one page should be self-contained, meaning thereby no references. You should not ask the user to read something else. Okay, written to attract the readers to your proposal. Okay, summary of the contents of the proposal. Brief but contains sufficient details. It should be brief. See, the requirement of abstract, that's why I said it is most difficult part to write an abstract, right? So brief but contains sufficient details. You have to have details about your project. You have to mention the salient features at the same time. Okay, you should be very brief about that. Okay, then these are the important areas which you must cover while writing down the abstract. That is motivation for the work. One or two statement. What motivated you to write this particular abstract, right? So motivation is one or two statements. Project objectives, one or two statements. What are the proposed techniques? One or two statements. And then expected results and conclusion. So it is from start to finish. That is introduction to conclusion. Okay, 7 or 8 section. Everything you have to sum up in one page document. And most of the time 350 to 500 words or 700 words at max. Okay, and that's why I said it is the most challenging part. It is the most challenging part, right? So project abstract, this is how you have to write. Then abstract should contain focus of the project, activity to be undertaken, what exactly, in what way you are going to execute it, who is the target audience, it is intended for whom. Okay, you have to talk about what they call it as the implementation plan. That is how you will achieve those objectives. Okay, what are the performance measurement and what is the budget. Okay, this is ultimately everything goes down to money, right? So how much money you require for executing that particular project, right? So it must cover all these aspects in detail, maybe 1 or 2 line. Okay, creating abstract. Okay, now the general guidelines I have already given you. Okay, now I am talking about there are certain mistakes normally we commit. Okay, so you adhere to the RFP requirement, if any. RFP requirement for writing abstract, as I have told you, that is there are certain funding agency which ask for that the abstract should not be more than 500 words. Then you must count the number of words. If it is more than 500, definitely you are not following the rules. So you are committing mistake, right? So adhere to RFP requirement, if any. If it is not mentioned, then you are free, but still you have to follow the general guideline which I have told you in the beginning. That is, should not be more than 1 page and so on. So address the need of the funding agency. So you have to specify the need as well. Make it engaging and energetic. Make it engaging and energetic, meaning thereby, I don't know how many of you read novels. Okay, novels when you start or any thing which you feel that normally you start to finish. Okay, you feel that even there is a time for your lunch or you can say the dinner. We skip the dinner many times. Okay, because it was so engaging. So you have to make it in that way. That is, whenever a user is trying to go through your abstract, he should be compelled to read the last statement. Okay, abstract I'm talking about, right? So make it engaging and energetic. Energetic meaning thereby don't use passive voice. Okay, always use active voice. I don't know. I want to check whether you are alive or not. Okay, I'll make certain mistakes. Okay, somebody is there, right, who is listening carefully. You can counter question me, right? So make it engaging and energetic. Use active voice. Okay, don't use passive voice. Okay, nowadays, just now I think Nasira madam has told you many tools. Okay, which you can use for you can say effective writing and so on. But always use, this is again very common mistake we commit, that is we use passive voice, okay, which is not advisable, at least in abstract, right? So you must avoid passive voice, okay, always use active voice, okay. The next section, see, the sequence I am completely altering, okay, because abstract, even though it appears to be the very first point on the agenda, but it should be written at the last, as I have told you. Then comes the introduction. So introduction is again is very important. Okay, most of the people, they read the abstract and introduction and they have the impression about what exactly you are talking about. Okay, and most of the 80% of the things they decide. Okay, from reading the abstract and introduction. Okay, rest of the things because they know what is there in the rest of the right. So this is very important. So that's why you must write it the second last but one, what we say normally, right? So topic, define scope and limitation. In introduction, you have to define the topic, scope and limitation. See, limitation normally we skip. Okay, scope, again, why I'm saying scope? Because you have a specified period of time within which you have to execute the project. Okay, let's say you are planning which is not achievable within 3 years, and 3 years the duration usually given by the funding agency for the execution of the project, you will miss the bus, right? So scope should be achievable, should be within the stipulated time, say 3 years down the line. Okay, should not, normally they don't give extension. Okay, very rare circumstances they give extension for once again 6 months or so. Okay, but most of the time they are very strict about their timelines, right? So define scope and define limitation. Okay, then importance you must talk about in the introduction. Background, that is how you have arrived at this particular problem, right? And this is a general introduction to what the problem is all about, right? This is again very important. Gurjar sir, please switch off your camera. You are sleeping, if I am not wrong. Subhash Gurjar sir, I hope you can hear me, right? It's better that you switch off your camera, right? Anyway, so background, then general introduction to what the problem is all about, and so on, right? And it must be written at the second last. Okay, then background, that is how to, we'll go one by one. Background, it is a brief section giving background information may be necessary, because how, see, nothing will come directly from the air, right? So you have to have some baseline document, some background is essentially needed. That is how you are arriving at that, well, this problem is really worth solving. So background is essential, right? Background information may be necessary. So your evaluator may not have any experience with some of the material needed to follow your problem. Okay, most of the reviewer, normally they are not, so you have to assume in your mind that whatever you are writing, it should be understandable even to a layman. A layman in a sense, that is who is completely new to that particular domain. Okay, and he's trying to go through the document. Okay, he should be able to understand it. So you have to write it in such a way that the background information, see, many times, again, the another common mistake we commit is we use a language, English in particular, okay, so in such a way that we make the simpler things difficult. Okay, that should not happen. Okay, that is again the small tip I am giving you, right? How to write. This is applicable to everything, right? This is applicable. So don't use language which is, if it is simple, make small statement, okay, which should be well understandable and so on, right? Limited to the state of the art, the literature review I'm talking about. The introduction is over. Now you are moving further. That is, you are going for literature review. So limited to the state of the art relevant to your problem. Okay, normally what we do, we start from scratch. Let's say you are talking about AI or machine learning or deep learning architecture. You start from expert system and so on from 1964, and then you arrive at your problem. Okay, that should not happen. So it should be limited to the state of the art release. State of the art meaning thereby 5 years down the line or 3 years down the line. This period is shrinking. Earlier it was 10 years, now it has been shrink to 5 years, now it is shrink to 3 years. And it may happen that in near future you will have that the literature review will be last 1 year or so, right? So state why the problem is important. This is again very important, right? In literature review, you have to have this thing in your mind. That is why this particular problem is important, right? What is the importance of this particular problem? Describe what others have done. See, definitely there are n number of people already working in that domain. So what they have done, you have to briefly describe. Okay. And then you justify whatever solution you are proposing. That is, in what way your proposed solution will be novel as compared to the existing solutions available in the market, right? So while writing literature review, you have to keep in your mind these 4 points, okay, so that you can write a good literature review, right? Then problem statement, concise statement of the problem that your project addresses. Justification is very important. Most of the funding agencies, they have a bulleted point called justification, right? So justification by direct reference to previous work that your question is unanswered. Okay, so where you will find this justification, you will find, let's say, if you go through the any research article or paper or whatever, you will find that at the end, normally they mention what they call it as conclusion and future scope. So that future scope part, you can take further, and from there you can formulate your problem. So justification by direct reference to your previous work that your question is unanswered. So there are many things which are unanswered by any of the researchers, right? So analyze the information which you are presented in the literature review. So you have to establish a link. It should not be the introduction is talking about something else. Okay, literature review, you are leaving the track, right? So it should be in line with what you have already narrated, right? Because the sequence of, you can say the document will be likewise, okay, abstract, introduction, and then literature review and so on. So you have to establish a link between all these components. So analyze the information which you presented in literature review, right? Okay. Now, what are the tips of writing a successful grant proposal? Okay, the very important characteristics that a successful grant proposal must possess is should be compelling. Compelling means it should compel the reviewer to, when he or she start reading from abstract, he or she should be compelled to read till the end of the document. Okay, you have to present it in such a way that it should be, you can say, just like a novel, I should say, right? So should be compelling, right? Then should be written in a professional way. You know, many times we put unnecessary material in the RFP, okay, which creates problem, okay. And the another important aspect is we must use visuals, okay, visuals meaning thereby photographs or diagrams and so on, whatever is appropriate for your problem domain you are working into. Then a result oblique outcome oriented, okay, if it is not having any kind of impact, social or economical impact, nobody will accept it. Then it should be built on strong foundation. Okay, let's say the foundation itself is weak, then definitely the problem you are addressing to is undoubtedly weak. And it should be data driven. Data driven meaning thereby, let's say you are working into women's empowerment, then you have to justify that during last 5 years, these many issues has arise and my solution is going to address those issues, okay, in this particular manner. So data, you have to have data, last 3 years data, right? How many FIRs have been launched? Okay, what are their, and so on and so forth. So data is utmost important. So it should be data driven. It should not be that you are talking something in air, nobody will accept it, right? So it must be data driven. And for doing all this, definitely you have to extensively work. Then and then you can write down a RFP. It is not that you can write a proposal within a day or within 5 hours or 3 years. Okay, if you are trying to do so, don't do it, right? It will not work for anybody, right? It will not work for anybody, right? Then the another important characteristics are easy to read. Easy to read meaning thereby, irrespective of the domain of the person who is working as an evaluator, okay, he or she should be able to understand it, what exactly you intend to say. Okay, and it should be properly formatted. So let's say if it is not properly formatted, again, because that shows your seriousness as a matter of fact, right? That shows your seriousness. So if you are not serious, then how you will execute the research, right? So it must be properly formatted. Do not write too many goals. Again, this is very common mistake. This is what I came to know, because most of the time while writing down the goals, we are, I should say, we become a little bit theoretical. Okay, and we write, let's say 20 odd goals. And as I have told you, there is a 3 years timeline. So how you will complete those 20 odd goals in 3 years time? Okay, you want to go to moon, right? Theoretically is okay, but let's say you have to go in a stepwise manner, right? So do not write, write 5 to 7 goals at max. Okay, don't write too many goals. Okay, again, 5 goals is, in my opinion, let's say if you are very clear about what exactly you intend to achieve, even 3 or 4 goals are sufficient enough, right? Should be action oriented. Action oriented meaning thereby you must use action word, right? If it is not, then definitely it shows your attitude, how you are going to live with that particular problem during the project execution life cycle, right? Keep in your mind, you are not writing a research article, rather than you are writing research proposal. See, this is again very common, because we are very used to writing a research paper, okay, and the same methodology normally we adopt while writing the research proposal, whereas it is completely different, right? So keep in your mind that you are writing a research article rather than you are writing a research proposal, right? So those two things are completely different. Okay, writing a research article is completely different, and writing a research proposal for grant is altogether different, right? So don't mix up the things. They are completely different, right? Use minimum words. Okay, minimum words meaning thereby, as I have told you, use small statements. Don't write a statement of 1 paragraph, okay, or say 200 words, one single. Normally we write by putting a semicolon in between, right? So don't do that, right? Write small statements, should be crystal clear, okay? Use persuasive writing techniques, that is support for your proposal with evidence, establishing credibility, using logic to link together idea and project outcomes, okay? And it is always good to put certain things in such a way that you can anticipate some questions from that. So don't write everything into the project. This is a very good it's a very important tip I am giving you. That is, anticipate question, meaning intentionally put certain things in such a way that obviously while facing the interview, okay, they should be compelled to ask you how you will do this, right? So put certain things like, say, open-ended questions, okay, and definitely you have to prepare the answer for that, okay? So intentionally, this is a smart way of writing proposal, right? Ask your colleagues to proofread, but this normally never happens in the Indian scenarios, right? We normally keep it confidential unless and until it is sanctioned, right? Ask your colleague to proofread. It's better to get it read by someone who is your colleague, right? Clearly planned. Clearly planned meaning thereby 6 महीने में आप क्या करोगे, next 6 महीनों में क्या करोगे, everything has to be well in your mind, right? Clearly planned. Show value, don't over promise. This is again due to over enthusiasm and so on. What do we do normally? We over promise. We will say कि सर ये भी कर लेंगे, वो भी कर लेंगे, वो भी कर लेंगे. पता चला आपने 10 चीजें लिख दी, हम ये सब कर लेंगे. Or at the end, what has happened that you were able to achieve only 1 or 2. So this will see what happens. Normally, all these funding agencies, they keep a watch on your project. Okay, normally they have yearly evaluation or midterm evaluation. Okay, maybe say 3 years project is there, and then after 1.5 years, they may ask you to appear for what is the progress of your report, of your proposal, right? So 1.5 year, then 1.5 year, and at the end, and then they compare. At the end, they ask you to write down a execution report wherein you have to mention everything what you were supposed to do and what you have done. Okay, so if you promise, let's say 10 goals, and you are able to achieve only 3, then definitely they will say, okay, what about the rest of the 7? Why you have written all this, right? So don't overpromise. Be realistic and achievable in given time frame. Repeatedly, I am telling you, that is 3 years or 5 years, whatever is the timeline. You have to be very realistic, and you have to have a justification. Okay. So again, it should be feasible. Feasible in a sense, there are again different types of feasibility. One feasibility should be technically feasible, right? You are talking about something for which your environment, you are not having the environmental support for that, right? So technical feasibility, and then you may have some economical or other feasibilities are there, right? If you are dealing with a social problem, then behavioral feasibility. So you have to keep all these things in your mind while writing down the proposal, right? Should be feasible. If it is not feasible, definitely there's hardly any possibility that you will get the fund for that particular, right? Then timeline. Does the time frame account for all activity? अब ये बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है. क्या होता है, आपको 3 साल का प्रोजेक्ट दे दिया, ओके, पता चला आपको एक साल के बाद में पहला इंस्टॉलमेंट आता है, कभी कभी 6 महीने में आ जाता है, आप लकी हो तो 2 या 3 महीने में आ जाता है, right? So you have to keep all these, you can say in your mind while writing down the time frame, okay? And you have to say that procurement of equipment first 6 months or first 1 year. Is there any activity which is not accounted for in the timeline? So normally you must prepare a net chart indicating that, let's say January you are starting, January 2025. So January to June, what you will achieve, milestone, then June to December, what you will achieve, then, and so on and so forth. So this plan you have to have in your mind well in advance. Provides detail, right? Indicate completion dates. Write down specific dates. Show attention to details. Attention to detail meaning thereby every minute activity should be recorded. Okay. Reveal feasibility of all activity. है ना? क्या होता है, आप एक आधा इम्पोर्टेड इक्विपमेंट प्रोक्योरमेंट करने की बात कर रहे हो, अब पता चला कि वो इक्विपमेंट आ रहा है फॉरेन से डायरेक्ट, ठीक है? Because most of the equipment, let's say if you are into a tech domain, okay, we are procuring it from the direct manufacturers, right? So again, you have excise, customs, and other formalities. So it may happen that procurement of that equipment may require 1.5 years. Then what you will do for the 1.5 years, right? So to avoid this kind of problem, you need to see what are the alternate solution available and whether they are available or not, whether you can get the same sort of thing or equivalent sort of thing within less time. All those things you have to keep in your mind. So while writing down in timeline, okay, you should be well aware about all these activities, right? Usually in timeline, we write down these kind of chart, what should I say? That is, timeline is broken into small milestone or deliverables. यानी आपको 6 महीने बाद में आपका क्या रहेगा, next 6 महीने में क्या होगा, all those things you have to record in writing. So activity, procurement of equipment, as I have told you, completion date 6 months, and who is the person responsible for that? Is the PI, co-PI, or your research scholar, right? Then hiring of human resources, 6 months, okay, person responsible for that, and so on. So you have to write down all these things in detail. And this is typically a timeline net chart, what they call it as. Okay. This is more or less applicable to all the MRPs and so on, right? So 08 day, what you will do next, and so on, right? This way you have to record everything, and you have to see the progress of the execution of that research proposal, okay, based on the timeline, right? Budget. So having said that, we have talked about timeline, that is 3-year timeline is there. Budget is important, right? So defines the grant priorities, what you will procure first. Okay, again, you have jot down n number of equipment. So which one you will procure first? Okay, provides the insight, indicates how money will be spent, okay, and direct cost or indirect cost. Again, these two things are there, right? So budget, there are few direct costs involved which you will pay, and maybe some taxes, VAT, and whatnot, right? Nowadays GST is there. So you have to take into account. नहीं तो पता चला आपने एक आधा फॉरेन से इक्विपमेंट बुलाया, उस पे GST पता चला कि 35% है ना? 10 लाख का इक्विपमेंट है, 35% GST है, कहाँ से लाओगे पैसा? अगर आपने पहले प्लानिंग नहीं की तो you may face problem, you may stuck up. Again, important thing is don't write, so see, while writing down the specification of equipment, write down very generic equipment specification. Otherwise, what happens, for every now and then you need to seek permission from the funding agencies, and most of the funding agencies, I am sorry to say, they are not responsive. When you write to them, it may happen that they will not, most of the time they don't respond. Okay, they will not give you yes or no. Okay, you have to take your own decision. Let's say if you take risk and you procure something which is not there in the list, okay, it may happen that they disallow that. For example, you are seeking putting desktop computers in your equipment list. Okay, and as against of desktop, while execution, you realize that laptop is better. And if you procure laptop, okay, they will not allow. Right? See, it is, they are very, very strict about that. Okay, it is happening in most of the times. So don't take risk. Adhere to the whatever you have mentioned in the proposal and so on. Right? So this is how you have to plan the budget. Okay, what is there in the direct cost? Let's have a look at. Say salary, fringe benefits, travel, equipment cost, supplies. जब आपका सैंक्शन लेटर आता है तो ये सब चीजों में हेड वाइज आपको पैसे मिलते हैं. सैलरी ग्रांट से यू आर गेटिंग अ ग्रांट, टोटल ग्रांट ऑफ से 50 lakh rupees. So salary they will give you 12 lakh rupees. Okay, 4 year for every year. Okay, so salary initially, but they don't disburse the entire amount in a single go. They will give you initially 50% of the project cost, 25 lakh. 25 लाख में से आपके सैलरी में 12 लाख मांगे तो आपको 6 लाख मिलेंगे पहले. अब सैलरी का जो पैसा है वो सैलरी में ही खर्च होना है. आपको पता चला कि आपने क्या किया, सैलरी में से इक्विपमेंट खरीद लिए, नहीं चलेगा. ठीक है. फ्रिंज बेनिफिट्स, ट्रैवल के हेड में अगर 25,000 रुपए आए आपके, तो दैट इज द कैप. ओके, यू कैन नॉट स्पेंड मोर देन 25,000 in travel expenses, towards travel expenses. So it is head wise, you must be very clear. Equipment cost, let's say 15 lakh equipment is there, you cannot go beyond that. Okay, and it is expected that you should not disobey the what you have already submitted, because they always compare. Whenever you go for the UC, they always compare the document what you have already submitted, right? So it should be within the limit, and it should be, the equipment should be the same whatever you have specified in the proposal. Okay, and supplies, right? These are the direct costs. Indirect costs, utilities, okay, rent, legal services, है ना. कई बार आप legal services लेते हो, आप you are going for a black check, or you are going for you can say some writing services from some third party. Okay, insurance of the equipment, insurance cost. Okay, so it is in percentage. As I have told you, GST, okay, that comes under indirect cost. Okay, so if you are not having your own building, it may happen you may take for the project life, you may take certain things on rent or certain equipment on rent. So that is again permissible, but you must get fund against that head. Okay, then and then you can utilize it. So indirect cost is another aspect, direct and indirect cost. Then budget justification, rationale behind the numbers. It is not like, say, as I have told you, that is 50,000 is 50 lakh is the cap, and you are preparing a proposal for 2 crore or 5 crore. Nobody will accept it. So whatever numbers you are putting in, don't put numbers like anything, right? You have to have some justification, because when you appear for the interview, they ask you every bit of it. कि भाई ये 5 लाख रुपए आपने मांगे काय के लिए? What is the purpose? So usually templates are provided by the funding agency. Most of the government agency, they provide you template. Amount requested is equal to amount funded. And you have to have that thing in your mind. Expenses and personal cost is the goals of the project, right? Cost may increase over time. ये मैंने बताया आपको, inflation, है ना. GST पहले 15% था, पता चला नेक्स्ट बजट में जब आप फ्लोट कर रहे हो टेंडर, now you realize the GST has gone up from 15% to 30%. Now how you will, this 15% amount, how you will adjust, right? So that is a $1 billion question. So cost may increase over time. इसके लिए क्या कर सकते हो आप, 10% already extra कर दीजिए, है ना. That is the best way of doing it, right? Read and know the funding guidelines inside and out. Inside and out meaning thereby every bit of it you have to read, right? Starting from scratch. Take a hard copy of it, go through it, because while executing the project, see, the another important thing is, unless and until you submit the UC and it is being accepted by the funding agency, आपके गले में घंटी लटकी है, ठीक है, तो आप उसमें से बाहर नहीं निकल सकते हैं. So you have to have a very clear cut utilization certificate wherein they issue a letter, well, this much amount has been sanctioned to Mr. Mohammed Atif. and he has utilized this much, and this balance he has transferred to central government account, so and so, and now there is nothing outstanding against the PI. Okay, dot, dot, dot. Right. So that's why it is necessary that what is admissible, what is not admissible. Okay, whether AC comes under, I should say, the equipment or not. You are procuring a AC, and whether ACs are allowed, right? So all these things you have to take into account while executing a project. Okay. Now you have submitted the project, it goes for evaluation. Okay. So most of the, let's say, university setup, normally most of the organizations, okay, they want to say submit 10 projects. Okay, there is a cap. They have decided, the authority have decided we will submit 10 best projects. So there is internal review, internal committee will be there. Again, you have to appear for that internal evaluator. Once it is through from internal evaluator, you will go to external evaluator, that is the funding agency will appoint. Normally it is blind review is there, okay, wherein your name, designation, all those things are hidden, okay, and they give it to a third party kind of evaluation. Experts are there. So someone who is not working on the grant, who can provide objective feedback, colleagues and universities not associated with the project, okay, or you can take help of your senior colleagues, okay, if you want, if you feel that a pseudo kind of evaluation is to be carried out, okay, then you can very well do that. Okay, then you have formative and summative, right? These are the two types of plan. Okay, so it takes place before or during project's implementation, and some summative is something like, say, takes place after the project is completed. So before and after, again, you can go for these two type of formative and summative kind of plan. Okay, then what, let's say you have executed the project, everything is over, now you got the UC and so on, right? Or in the during the execution of the project, many times you require to disseminate, okay, whatever you have achieved. So sharing your success, now sharing your success stories and lessons, okay, learned with others on maybe on you can say the through your research papers or through your research articles, or maybe some newspaper articles and so on, okay, or nowadays social media platforms are there. So okay, so dissemination may be in person or maybe written methods or electronic media, plan and guide. You can conduct certain workshops, or nowadays you can use YouTube or Instagram or whatever you feel appropriate, right? So that way you can disseminate. Well, you have designed this thing and this can be, this is available for demonstration, okay, people can use it, something like that. I'll not go into the dissemination plan and so on. Okay, then sustainability is important. That is the continuation of a project's goal, principle, and effort. Okay, usually this is not in our country. We don't have that kind of environment. Let's say I have taken up a particular thing from X place to Y place. Then next colleague should come forward and he or she should take from this Y to Z and so on. So whatever X to Z I have, X to Y I have achieved, same thing I'll share with him, okay, or her, and she will move forward. He or she will move forward with that particular. So sustainability, right? So create a detailed description about what you plan to continue. Okay, determine whether these elements can be incorporated into daily operation. Whether you can make, let's say I have developed a software, whether I can use that software for my organization, right? Yes or no? If it is yes, then definitely, okay, that is the outcome of that particular project. And in our country, normally we don't have these kind of practices. Okay, we execute the project, we prepare a file, close that file and dump it forever, right? Nobody else will continue that particular project. So explain how absorbing the program will take place. Okay, that is how you can move forward in that direction. Okay, because small things can make a bigger picture, right? So in developed nation, this is how the projects are being executed, right? But in our country, normally we don't have that kind of environment. Leave it. Okay. Now, what are the sources of funding? I have talked about, you can say the very first thing, what I have talked about it, I have listed out in my first two slides, government and government sources only, right? If you look at all those agencies, internationally or nationally, they are all public funded agencies. That is the government or nodal agencies. Okay. But those are not only the resources. Let's say if you have a very good idea, you can get funds from other ways and means also. So some of the things which I have listed out here is the corporate sponsorship. Let's say you are working into an environmental problem. Okay, so definitely you can approach any corporate organization government has mandated them what they call it as the CSR fund, that is Corporate Social Responsibility Fund. It is mandatory for them to spend. That's why you find most of the gardens, okay, in big cities, they are maintained by Tatas and Birlas. Why it is so? Because it is compelled by the government that they must invest whatever earnings they are having. 5% of that amount they must invest in corporate social responsibility. That is CSR. So corporate sponsorship, if your idea is really good, you can go for commercialization of whatever solutions you have made. Okay, you can charge some membership fee. Let's say I have developed a software and I want to make it, I want to keep it in a public domain. I can very well get, you can say, the membership fee. Okay, if you want to become member of that particular channel, or maybe the software, if you want to use it, I can charge some membership fee. I can raise fund for that. Or you can go for what they call it as nowadays, this is happening at a jet speed, is crowdfunding and angel investors. You know, every university has got director, innovation, incubation, and so on. You must have heard all the startup and whatnot, right? So crowdfunding people are there, okay, or angel investors are there. They are ready. People are ready to give money. The only thing is that the idea has to be innovative. And based on this theme, you have a lot of TV shows again going on, right? Okay. Now, membership and all those things, I'll not go. I'll simply just try to give you an idea. That is crowdfunding. What is crowdfunding? That is, project is funded through soliciting a large number of people. Okay, there are certain crowdfunding platforms. There you simply pitch your idea. Okay, like say Kickstarter or GoFunding kind of platform. Okay, and if the people, those who are actively involved as a angel investor over there, okay, they will approach you. Well, your idea is worth, okay, we want to fund you, you go for the execution of this project, we will pump the money, and we will have some kind of, you can say, profit sharing, 50-50 or whatever, right? So Kickstarter or GoFunding kind of platform, this way there are thousands, okay? Then project is funded through an interested investor, okay? These are the top 10 angel investor in India. You must have heard about their name, okay? Time Next, Gang, Sunil Kalra, right? Sachin, and so on. The list is very indicative, I should say. Okay, so there are thousands of people who are into this angel investment, right? You can approach them. Okay, to end with my talk, I think we have five minutes more. Okay, you need to have certain documents from your organization whenever writing the proposal. Okay, so letter of support. Okay, again, those who are into government or university setup, okay, you should take, let's say you want to, the window opens for a specified time. And let's say the major research project window has opened from 1st of August. It will close on 30th of August. So within these 30 days, you must get all those letters, formal letters from your organization. So use your institution's letterhead. Normally what we do, we type on a simple paper and take the signature of the principal and submit it. And later on, then they raise certain objections on our submission, and they may say, this is not on your letterhead. So always use your institution letterhead. Use the exact format as specified. Okay, normally they come up with various formats. So use exact format. Don't apply your brain. Okay, many times we try to manipulate it, right? Or we try our own ideas. You will prepare something which is altogether different. So that case, again, that is not acceptable by most of the government funding agencies. Then resume or curriculum vitae of PI and team, that is essentially needed. And as I have told you, that is while writing on the resume or curriculum vitae or CV, okay, you must keep it as small as possible. 2-3 pages, that is enough. Okay, so use the exact format, or if some format is there, use it as it is. Don't apply your brain once again. Audited statement of the organization. This is again most of the time needed. And NBA and NAC certification is again mandatory required. If your institution is A++ or A+, that is the minimum criteria. That is for certain funding agencies, they have very stringent criteria, right? NBA and NAC certification. If you are into a technical education, and if your institution is not NBA certified, you are not eligible for most of the projects, right? So if it is a university, then you have to have a NAC once again with a specified score, AA plus whatever, right? So you have to have all these documents. It is not merely saying that our institution has got A. You have to have a certificate, documentary evidence for that, right? Then again, that you need to upload on the site, right? So these are the best practices. Read the RFP submission guidelines carefully, gather documents early as there are dependencies, because you never know that is how you will get those certificates and so on documents. So make it good and readable. Okay, as most often we have to submit them electronically. So it should be, let's say if you are taking an image, must be readable and so on. Those things you have to take care. Okay, and then other aspects are there. I think we are running out of time, but very simple things are there. I'll share this PPT with you. Okay. Do not provide too much details. Many times, again, that is the major mistake we commit, because we know the problem, we know the solution. What do? We write down everything into the RFP. Don't do that. Okay, highly dangerous, right? So don't do that. Do not forget the human element. Okay. Tell a compelling story about the impact of your proposal once it is implemented, and be strong and confident. Okay, that is again the mantra for the successful grant proposal. If you are not confident, nobody will give you money, right? Because money is not that easy to get the money, right? Unless and until you have some other ways and means, right? So writing tone should be friendly and simple. Don't be overconfident. At the same time, see, you should not be the other slide what I have told you, but should not be at the same time overconfident. Okay, your statement should not reflect that you are overconfident. You are trying to achieve something and you feel that you are something great. That should not happen. Avoid jargon and buzzwords. Don't use abbreviations. This is again very common. Okay, most of the time we write down abbreviation and we feel that, but the right way of writing RFP is don't use any sort of abbreviation, or at least when you are using it first and you feel that it will appear n number of times, at least whenever you are putting it in the first time, okay, write down in bracket the complete long form of that particular abbreviation, and the rest of the document you can use it as abbreviation. But at least somewhere you must mention it. Rather, in the first appearance, you must write down the complete detail. So don't use abbreviation, make it easy to read. As I said, don't use fancy language, use simple language, use 12 point is the standard, use images wherever possible. Think like a reviewer. Okay, just put yourself in the footstep of a reviewer and then try to read your own document, whatever you have written. Okay, so that you can realize what are the lacunas and you can rectify all those mistakes, whatever you have committed. So don't be over ambitious. Again, I think this aspect I have already touched upon. Keep your goals reasonable, okay, achievable. Okay, keep in mind the duration time frame. Make sure your grants are feasible and miserable. Miserable again important. Okay, don't lose focus on the goal. And focus on the goal. Goal again, many times we are distracted. Okay, that should not happen. Allocate the time needed. Explain how you will solve the problem. You have to some way or the other, in a very broader perspective, you have to write down statements. That is how you are going to address this particular problem, right? Okay. So propose only a few key outcomes. Okay, don't put too many. Okay, this I have repeatedly, I am telling you that is many times we are over ambitious. Okay, make sure you have access to the resources. Let's say you are trying to talk something about a particular resource based on which you will carry out the experimentation, and that resource itself is not available. So how you will execute the project, right? So obviously it is not possible to complete it, right? So budget and so on. Okay, so asking to with regard to budget, don't ask for too much money. Okay, you should be very meticulous about numbers. Okay, miscalculation of numbers. Many times we write down in the budget, and at the end, when it comes to total, what do? We commit mistakes over there. So double check it. Okay, this is a blunder mistake. Okay, because it is money. Okay, money. Everybody will be very keen about that, right? So with this, I think I've finished up. That is how to write a successful research proposal, right? So this is all from my end. Now the topic is open for discussion. If you have anything in your mind, you can fire it now. Hello. I hope the around 46 participants are there, and this is probably the last session. Okay. So any specific query? I've tried my level best to give you an insight, that is how to write a research proposal from scratch to finish. Okay, and shared my experiences as well, right? So I was expecting that few queries will be there, but anyway, some chat, I don't know, some questions are there or not, right? Very nice information. All right. Okay. So with this, we will end up now. Before we close down, I hope that you must have enjoyed all the sessions. Okay, we have tried our level best to give you best of the resource person. Okay, but if there are any shortcomings, I'll be happy to listen. So if you feel that you should give certain suggestions with regard to the execution of the entire program, because being a director and the coordinator of the program, right? I would love to listen rather some areas, gray areas, wherein we need to improve upon.
Hello, sir.
Yes, बोलिए मैम. स्मिता मैडम
Sir,
बोलिए. Yes.
I'm Smita Devar from RDG College Akola. Sir, last 6-7 days से जो NEP का ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम चल रहा है, तो इसमें सर हमें जो भी कुछ क्यूरी थी, हमने जो ड्राफ्ट पढ़ा था उसमें बहुत सारी क्यूरीज हमें आ रही थी.
हाँ.
हाँ, तो उस हिसाब से जो भी एक एक लेक्चर्स, आपने सबसे पहला लेक्चर जो सर ने लिया, उसके बाद पहले दिन का जो इंटरेक्शन सेशन हुआ, उससे हमारा नहीं ये बहुत रिलैक्स हो गया कि अरे NEP को पढ़ना बहुत इजी हो जाएगा, जिस तरह के आपने रिसोर्स पर्सन हमको प्रोवाइड किए हैं.
जी.
हाँ, उसके साथ मोरिल सर का सेशन हुआ, कल का भी सेशन है, जो भी टेक्निकल से जो थे वो भी हमें बहुत अच्छे से अंडरस्टैंड हुए. और जो आपने क्विज प्रोवाइड की थी ना सर, वो तो ऑल ओवर NEP पे थी. तो हमको वो क्विज जब हम सॉल्व कर रहे थे, तो हमारे में जो भी कुछ ये था कि अरे हमको ये पता नहीं है, तो हम वो पढ़ रहे थे, फिर सॉल्व कर रहे थे, यानी वो उसमें क्या हुआ कि जो भी क्यूरीज हमको और थी वो भी हमारी बहुत सारी क्लियर हो गई. यानी क्यूज भी हमको एज अ नोट्स ही मिल गई, हम तो ऐसा ही सोचते हैं.
अच्छी बात है.
हाँ, तो
We have succeeded in our but as a coordinator, I should, as I said, that there is always scope for improvement. तो
yes,
आपके कोई सजेशन होंगे तो दीजिए हमें.
सर आपके सामने क्या सजेशन बोला सर, हमको तो आपसे बहुत कुछ सीखना है सर अभी.
नहीं. सीखना तो देखिए, मैं भी सीख रहा हूँ अभी भी. आप भी सीख रहे हैं. इट इज लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग, यू नो. We learn from student, right? We should be open to ideas, new ideas.
डेफिनेटली सर.
हाँ, लेकिन हमको कुछ ग्रे एरियाज के सर यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा कुछ अगर इस पे ज्यादा हमको मिलता था, इस तरह की चीजें में टॉपिक्स कुछ लगे होंगे आपको तो भाई सर ये टॉपिक पे या इस तरह, सो दैट नेक्स्ट बैचेस विल नॉट सफर. दैट इज द ओनली आइडिया, राइट? एनीवे, थैंक यू वेरी मच मैडम फॉर योर वर्ड्स ऑफ अप्रिसिएशन. और कोई बोलना चाहेगा? अगर नारखेड़े सर, थैंक यू. यस, ठीक है. तो मेरे ख्याल से अभी भी 4 मिनट है अपने पास. So 4:30 to 6, if I am not wrong. I was expecting, मैंने जो कुछ चीजें आज मैंने आपको जो बताई, इसमें इंटेंशन यही था कि अपन कोई भी चीज को क्या करते हैं, बहुत कैजुअल लेते हैं. समझ रहे हैं, है ना? When it comes to research particularly, we are really very casual about it. उस फारूकी मैडम, thank you so much sir for the knowledgeable session. Thank you मैम. ठीक है, तो मैं यही चाह रहा था कि भाई आप जो भी चीज करें उसको हाफ हार्टेडली मना करें, या तो उसमें हाथ ना डालें. अगर कर रहे हैं तो जस्ट ट्राई टू गिव योर 100%, राइट? With this note, I think I once again thank you all for joining our, rather selecting our center for this particular NEP orientation and sensitization program. The main objective of this program was to give you, just sensitize you about NEP, okay? Because there are certain misunderstanding with regard to NEP, okay? That was there. So I hope that we have achieved those objectives, right? So with this note, I once again thank you all, and I would like to request you that you just try to send our this flyer to your colleagues and your peer groups, right? So that other peoples can benefit it, right? So thank you once again, and wish you all the best, and for all your future endeavors. Thank you so much. Okay, so we will leave here. Your certificates and all you will get in e-form. Okay, you have to simply hold on for a day or two, because tomorrow is 15th of August. You know, it is a festival for all of us, right? So maybe in a couple of days you will get your certificates. Okay, and certificates you will get not in physical form, you will get e-certificates, which will be digitally signed, right? Thank you very much. Okay. And with this, I think we will stop here. Okay. So I'll take your leave. Thank you once again. And bye-bye.
So thank you one and all. With regards to two instructions are there. You will get the certificates within 15 minutes on our WhatsApp group. Second thing is that you have to fill the feedback form that will be available in the MMC portal. So you can log in the MMC portal, and left hand side there will be a feedback option. While you are filling the feedback form, only 3 questions are there and comment box is there. So kindly mention some kind of comments with regards to program. Either that form will not be submitted. Okay, so fill up your feedback form and you will get your certificate with immediate effect within 10 or 15 minutes on our WhatsApp group, and kindly download your certificates. And thank you so much all of you for your kind support, because without your kind support and consideration it will not possible to arrange such kind of program. So on behalf of MMTTC Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, gratitude and sincere thanks to all the participants, and now officially declare that this program will be over here. Thank you.